And we are live. Welcome to Beyond the Lens Productions. I am trying out some new software here. Well, new to me, anyhow, StreamYard. So I want to check out. So please check out all the features here. So please bear with me as I'm learning. So before we get started, let's roll the intro. Welcome back, guys. So I'm not going to make this too long of a stream. I just want to kind of set some things up here and try some stuff out to see how this whole software package works here. Kind of give you an update on the channel and let you know where I'm at, where I'm going, and things like that. So, anyhow, please feel free to use the comment section here and do some interacting. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to let me know. There we go, found the comments page. So, yeah, please, I want to get some feedback from you guys and see what you like in the channel, what you don't like, what you'd like to see more of. Do you want to see more live streams? Do you want to see more news segments? Should I do another car series like I did previously with the Pontiac Grand Prix, which everyone did seem to like? I'm thinking of doing another one here of the Chevrolet Camaro, seeing as that one was just recently dropped from the GM lineup. So I'm very unfortunate, in my opinion. But very good for Ford, because Ford is going to make it like a bandit with their new Mustang here. So that should be nice for them. Yeah, so let me know. As you've probably noticed here, not exclusively, but for the most part, a lot of my content is on the domestic car industry. That's mainly just because that's sort of where my area of expertise lies and what I am most interested in as well. So I've been following the Stellantis saga pretty much. That one has been pretty interesting. Well, I will continue to keep you guys updated on any new and exciting news in that area. We've seen a lot of changes in the car industry in the last little while. I mean, even just domestically, last few years, there's been a huge push for electrification and whatnot. Although I have nothing against electric cars, not something that's for me. However, if I don't begrudge anybody that wants to drive them in that. As I've said here in numerous videos, I'm more about giving consumers choice in what they want to drive and not having the government stick its nose in there and let, kind of force people to buy what they want them to buy and create mandates in that. Although as much as they'll try to deny they're creating mandates, they basically are. So Stellantis has been falling behind Ford and General Motors here. So I think Ford and GM have been having what one might call more conservative stance or program in the electrification there. I think it's in the long run, they're going to be a lot better off because of it. Ford has stated that they are going to build V8 engines for their Mustang and their F-150 until such time, if and when the government ever decides to outlaw them and tell them they can't and what have you. GM has basically said the same. GM is bringing out a whole new line of V8 engines in their Silverados and their full-size SUVs, the Suburbans, the Tahoes, and the Yukons, the Escalades. I have noticed at the dealership quite a bit, and GM anyhow, that they have been putting their diesel engine in a lot more of their full-size vehicles than what they were in the past, or their three-liter inline six diesel. So yeah, that one's kind of interesting there, and the price point on that is a lot better than what it has been in the past. So that's quite interesting as well. So you can really see how they've been pushing that. And Toyota over there, overseas, Japan and abroad, they have not jumped on the electric car bandwagon. They're probably the one that's done it the least out of the big automakers, anyhow. They seem to be moving more in the hybrid direction, and I think that's what you're going to see GM and Ford doing a lot more of, because you'll get the gasoline engine, which will keep a lot of their customers happy, and that's what they're comfortable with. That's what they are familiar with. That's what they know about. But at the same time, you have the electric motor in there, which is going to give the gasoline powered engine significantly better fuel economy. So I think that's actually a really good thing. I hope Stellantis gets some of their issues figured out and gets a better grasp on why, what customers want, because I think they've totally lost touch with what their customers are looking for. So hopefully they get that figured out, unfortunately. For Mr. Tavares there, I think that I don't think he's ever going to get it. He doesn't now, and I don't foresee him getting it anywhere in the near future. So I think they need to change their management there and kind of do a bit of a 180 in their direction there and start building some things that customers want. Because up to this point, they really haven't, in my opinion. So, but I hope they get figured out. I, for one, believe that the domestic car industry is a very important industry in North America, and I think we have taken it for granted, both consumers and government as well. And they provide a lot of jobs for people. So, I mean, even right from the manufacturing to the retail to any of the offshoot businesses in the metropolitan areas where there are car factories. So I think it is very important. I also want to draw your attention to this here. um, Beyond the Lens Productions. That is the handle for my the Instagram page for this channel. I'm going to start being a little bit more active on there and making some posts. I'm going to be letting people know when the new videos are launched on there, and I will make any important announcements on there and some extra little content along the way. Interesting things I see, I'll probably add some of those to it as well. And it's also another opportunity for you guys to interact with me, give me feedback, and yeah, even message me with what you like, what you don't like, and what you'd like to see in the channel. Is there content you'd like to see, or so forth and so on? So yeah, let me know. As I want to build a really great community here for everyone, and I think the community aspect in cars is really important. I think it's something that if you're not really a car person, you might not totally know of or understand, that cars are something that bring a lot of people together. And the car culture in North America is quite important to a lot of people. And I know in the Niagara region in Ontario, Canada, where I reside, there's quite a car culture here. We have a major automotive plant right here in Niagara, in St. Catharines, and it produces a lot of the engines that go in some of the popular vehicles from General Motors, from the Corvette to the full-size trucks. They were supposed to be starting to build electric motors and transmissions, I believe it is, um, next year. However, that's been pushed ahead to 2027 because the call for it, the demand for the electric cars just isn't there right now. So they're pushing it forward and seeing where the market lands in the next couple of years here and see what happens, which I think is a very smart move on their part. Stellantis, maybe you should take note of this sort of thing. Um, Ford has been doing the same thing. They're been pushing back. I think they pushed back about 3 times on the timeline for their electric car manufacturing here in Ontario as well. So I think that's something you might want to pay attention to, Stellantis. I don't know. But anyhow, whatever. That's up to you guys. I would hate to see us lose the car brands under Stellantis. I mean, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram, they're all very big names in the automotive industry, have all put out some great cars through the years. And I would hate to see us lose that. So, you know, I hope you do pay attention to this and there. So anyhow, that's interesting. I want to see here if I can share screen. Automotive Canada. Aha. There we go. All right. So there is the article. GM delays. Let's see here. GM delays EV motor output to 2027, affecting 1,000 workers as well. So that is unfortunate there. Now, one thing I think a lot of people don't realize as well with some of the electric cars is they take a lot less people to manufacture these cars. And although can be good for the automotive makers themselves, it is not great for the workers as well either. But that is what it is there, I guess. But let's say Toyota plans 20% increase in Sienna minivan production. Yeah. So this is a vehicle platform you don't see a lot of anymore. Minivans have fallen out of favor. However, there still is a market out there for them, and there are very few car manufacturers actually producing minivans anymore. I guess the two big players, I think, in the market are Toyota and Chrysler. And then the minivan is actually the only vehicle that still falls under the Chrysler nameplate. So, yeah, it's probably a very smart move on their part to move in this direction. Kind of the same thing what Ford did when they just shortly after GM discontinued the Camaro, and for Chrysler rather, Dodge has dropped the Challenger Charger. They're supposed to be bringing it back eventually in electric. The electric ones are starting to get to the lots now, and there's supposed to be an inline six version of the Charger coming out within the next 6 to 8 months. So we'll see if this happens with all the turmoil that's going on in Dodge right now and Stellantis in general. But anyhow, where I'm going with that is the fact that Ford, I think, made a really excellent strategic move there, and they have decided to um, not only continue their Mustang, but make it a point to let people know that they were going to be having their 5.0, their iconic 5.0 liter V8 in there for the foreseeable future. Let me look up something here. Now, there's something interesting here. I think Ford is coming in and filling a lot of the gaps here that are missing um, in the automotive sector. So the Mustang was one. Now, the article actually goes back to June. Actually, let's put it in here for you. Stop screen, present, share screen. Aha. So, Ford CEO says company could build sedans again. Very curious. This is around the time, well, he's not far after, where GM announced that they're dropping their Malibu. Now, I did a segment review on the Malibu there not that long ago, and I have to say I was quite impressed with the car. You know what? It was a lot more than what I was expecting. So you can take a look at that one when you have a moment. It's on my channel there, just back a couple months ago. And that, yeah, it was a really nice vehicle. Now they're dropping it, meaning the only brands within General Motors that will be producing sedans is Cadillac. And although the CT4, the CT5 are very nice vehicles, out of the price range of a lot of people. I mean, the Malibu here was a nice, $30,000 range sedan, and it surprised me. It was a lot of car for the money you're paying, and it handled well. It had a decent amount of power as well, so I was quite impressed by that. Now they're dropping it anyhow, and which seems to be what they like to do. They get a car, they perfect it, and then they drop it. Another one I remember them dropping, this one really baffled me, was the Chevrolet Impala there, and yeah, why they dropped that, I don't really know, but anyhow, seems to be. Now, why I think that Chevrolet Impala one was really unfortunate was because it was the very first North American made vehicle to ever hit the front page of Consumer Reports. And anybody who reads Consumer Reports knows that have always been very much in favor of the Asian car manufacturers, and usually give absolutely abysmal ratings to some of the domestic cars in there. Yet the Impala made that. I've driven an Impala. It was a beautiful car to drive, tons of room in it, nicely finished off inside. It felt like you're driving a lot more expensive of a car than what you actually were, and yet they just dropped it. Saying, well, it wasn't selling. I know I talked to a few salesmen at some of the dealers and that, well, it didn't sell, yada yada. I'm like, you rarely saw them on the lot. How do you expect to sell a car if you don't put them on the lot? I yeah, I don't know that. I don't understand their logic in that. But now, since GM has basically pulled out of the sedan market, with the exception of the Cadillacs, Ford has announced that they're looking at bringing another sedan to market. Now, I was driving around tonight. I went out to get some gas in my car, and I was at a stoplight, and there was four sedans around me, all new, within two to 3 years. They were all foreign cars: Honda Civic, a Hyundai, and another Honda Civic, and the Mazda. So there is a market out there for the sedans. They just I understand that the crossovers are the big thing right now, and that's what is the big cash cow, but there's still an opportunity for sedans. And with the Civic, for instance, let's talk about that one for a minute. Um, they have done a really good job of marketing to younger people. And you can get Honda's looked at what a lot of young people are doing these cars. I mean, anybody in the car culture, kind of car clubs, car scene, will, as will say, um, will know, like probably one of the most heavily modified vehicles, ones that people like to modify the most out there, are Honda Civics. And I think Honda must have sat back and looked at what these young people were doing to these Civics. And you know what they started doing? They started offering these features from the factory: lowering kits, exhaust, ground effects, like you name it. They put it in there right from the factory. And as anybody in any little, even basic marketing knowledge will know, if you can get people in at a young age and bring them into your brand, show them a good experience, treat them well, there's a much higher probability that these people are going to come back and continue to buy your product. Simple. They did that. They captured that market, and that's one of the number one selling vehicles in North America in the car sector. So now General Motors, they started to do this with their Chevy Cruze. And I remember being kind of impressed by that. I remember going to the Honda website, I looked at what they offered, and I looked at Chevrolet. Well, Chevrolet was starting to offer exhausts and ground effects and rims and lowering kits, all straight from the factory. Some dealer installed options as well. I'm like, you know what? Hey, kudos to GM. You're actually catching on. This is what people want, and you're gonna get people in. And the last Chevy Cruze they had in North America, the hatchback version, was actually a really nice looking car. And then they just got rid of it. they General Motors baffles me sometimes too, but now, mind you, you can go to say Brazil and some other countries in the world, you can still get the Chevy Cruze. You can go to China, you can get a full-size Cadillac that's kind of, I don't know if it's on the same platform as the Impala was, but at least it's in the same size segment that is. And yeah, I I don't understand why you wouldn't want to diversify your offerings as much as possible, because I think that is really important for any any business, really, is diversification. So General Motors could afford, in my opinion, to get rid of a few of their crossovers because they kind of all starting to look the same. And in my opinion, they have far too many of them. You could just narrow it down and make a few really, really good ones and just leave it at that. We'll see. And I mean, I'll go back to my theory on Pontiac and how I don't know what's going to happen with that, if they actually will bring it back, but maybe they will. Maybe they do have something up their sleeve. GM does tend to sit back and come a little late to the game sometimes. As I was kind of looking into doing this video on the Chevrolet Camaro, I actually was researching that, and they kind of did the same thing when Ford brought out their Mustang in 1965. And the Chevrolet had actually had plans for the Camaro, although it didn't have a name at the time, in the works since the 62, 63. But the GM brass at the top really didn't want to think they needed at the time until Ford Mustang jumped onto the scene in 1965 and sold over 100,000 units of the vehicle in, I think it was 3 or 4 months. Then GM had a wake up call. So, anyhow, what we got here? Howdy from Houston. I want a Hemi Challenger, but Stellantis builds crap. Please, God, bring back Pontiac. The best car I had was a 77 403 Trans Am. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I really do hope they bring that back. That Trans Am was actually one of my favorite Pontiacs, and I just have to think that GM might have something up their sleeve there, having gotten rid of the Camaro there, and maybe they might bring in the Firebird back. Maybe they just bring back Pontiac, and that will be their car brand. I hope they don't put any more crossovers in the Pontiac lineup from before, like they did before. I think that was a big mistake in for Pontiac. So yeah, hopefully they don't make that mistake again. I mean, they could just do it even as a small niche brand. It was my mother's car, yes. Actually, if I go back, uh, my mother used to drive a 76 Camaro. My dad's first brand new car that he purchased was a 1968 Firebird. I wish he had kept that car. I would love to still have that car today because, I mean, even at the car shows you go to, you see a lot of Camaros still, but you very rarely see a really nice Firebird. It's not that common, and they go for a lot of money. Fortunately, my dad sold to his young kid, and yeah, the guy just basically blew up the engine in just over a year. Even much as he told him, it's an old car. My dad had it until 1985, I think it was, and it was an old car by this point. And he said you can't drive it like you drive a new car. It's an old car. So he didn't listen, just blew it up. Thing had nice chrome rims on it, thrush exhaust on it. And yeah, I think sounded amazing. And I remember my dad taking off the chrome mag wheels every fall and putting on the winter rims and tires and that. He even had a special socket that had like a rubber inside so that when you took the lug nuts off, it didn't scratch the chrome lug nuts that were on there. So anyhow, I really do wish that was still for and and pray. Yeah, that's basically what he did. Unfortunately, his prayers weren't answered. He he actually got yeah, blew the thing up. But anyhow, it would have been a nice car to have now. So, but I've still got my Pontiac Grand Prix, so I still have some fun driving that. I actually just took that one out for a spin tonight. I'm going to be putting that one away for the winter time pretty soon because up here where I am, once you hit about November, it's gonna get snow anytime after Halloween. So we're running pretty short in time here. I'm trying to what year? That one is a 98 Grand Prix GTP, black chrome mags. I have a Magnafull exhaust on it, black leather interior as well. I just finished putting a brand new suspension on it. It's just a stock suspension. I wasn't really looking to lower it. I think the car is lower enough and it can scrape going into some parking lots easily enough as it is if you're not careful. So I didn't really want to go into something too low. I have a set of rims I might be putting on it. I actually had from one of my old cars. I had a 96 Pontiac Sunfire, and it has some rims with a universal bolt pattern, but I got to get some spacers or something on there. And I had it, my mechanic actually put the wheels on my Grand Prix, so I just kind of take a picture of it to see what it kind of looked like with that. It needs some tires now, but I have to say it actually looked pretty good. So 88 degrees here. Yeah, I think last I checked it was about 48 degrees here, so it's a little bit colder. I think it's supposed to go down to about 34 tonight. So the nights are getting pretty cold, and the leaves are coming off the trees. Leaves are coming off the trees pretty quick around here. So, but we're supposed to have. I think I'm going to keep it out this week because they were supposed to get a few days of about 70 degrees. So I'm kind of hoping that I can kind of still get the car out there a bit more. So that's kind of nice. Anyhow, but yeah. So anyhow, I was talking to my friend Gary. If you've seen the Holden video I did, where my buddy there did a conversion on his Pontiac G8. I'm looking to get him on here one more time before he gets the car put away. I think hopefully I'm going to catch up with him this coming week, and maybe we can do a quick little recap. He went to a huge meet, Pontiac G8 Holden meet. They went down to, I think it was Indianapolis, on Labor Day weekend. He's going to tell some interesting stories about that. I'm going to hopefully get some photographs from him from the meet, and I'm going to add it into the video there and show you guys some of that. And I might bring out, when we do the video, hopefully if the weather is nice, it's supposed to be, I will maybe bring my car out too, and we can put the two of them together in the video. I think it might look kind of cool there. So hopefully we'll go with that. But yeah, it would be nice to see some Pontiac excitement come back into the GM lineup. So yeah, we'll see what time brings there. So anyhow, but what else was I going to mention here? I think there's something else I'm missing I wanted to talk about here. Hi, Macon. What are you driving these days? You guys, I guess, really don't have to have summer or winter cars down there. It's pretty warm there most of the time. Houston's actually somewhere I want to go back to. I was there some time back there, actually. I really liked it. I went to Dallas, Houston, Fort Worth there, and yeah, people were great down there. Actually, was one of my favorite. Texas is one of my favorite states. I really want to go down there, and I hear that down by the Gulf side there, along by the Gulf, the beaches are pretty nice there. So wouldn't mind to check that out sometime. I might make my way down there in a trip sometime in the near future here. So that would be kind of cool too. What else we got here? Any other interesting automotive news? Let's see if we got anything else good here. Yeah, looks like yeah, just a lot of articles here about General Motors, some of their stock news over the week here, as well as some profits they've been making. They've been doing pretty good. Meanwhile, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Stellantis and their stock in the next week, because they're supposed to be coming out with their earnings. So I don't think it's going to be too good for them. They just need to get themselves some vehicles that people actually want to buy. They're not doing a very good job of that these days, because they're with their product offerings there. They're not really bringing people what they want. I mean, they don't even, I mean, hottest selling segment in North America right now is kind of the mid-size SUV market, like the Chevy Traverse and the GMC Acadia kind of thing. And yeah, they got nothing in there. They're dragging their heels in the Durango there. And yeah, I don't know. Well, we need to pull up their socks there. But anyhow, I digress. What do we got here? So anyone watching this, please take a moment and follow our Instagram channel here, the Beyond the Lens Productions. There, I'd love to see you guys in there and see you guys interacting and whatnot. That would be great. And yeah, if you guys are enjoyed this live stream, let me know. I can definitely do some more of these and just sit down and chat about different car stuff. I might probably give a little more notice next time, and maybe I'll get a few more people in here. That would be great. We can kind of interact, and if any of you are really brave, if I can figure out how to do it, I can even add you guys to the live stream. We can have a two-way conversation there as well. So that would be really cool. So anyhow, thanks for joining me in this live stream as I kind of fumble through this new software here. It's been a lot of fun, actually. I'm kind of enjoying this. And I've live streamed it to Instagram as well, so hopefully I can pull some people in from there. Now that I've kind of gotten the channel kind of where I want to be, recently just monetized the channel this past week. I'm going to be posting a video in the next day or so, thanking everybody that has been with me along on the journey here. I truly appreciate everything. All you guys have been watching the videos and liking and subscribing and whatnot as well. I wouldn't be able to be where I am without you guys. So big thank you to everyone. And so I'm going to do a formal video for that. And now that like I said, now that I've gotten the channel kind of where I want it to be, still want to grow it, obviously, but I'm going to start pushing it out on social media a little bit more. So I'm starting off with Instagram. I will work my way maybe even to TikTok, the Chinese spyware software app. Much as I hate TikTok, it seems to have brought a lot of other YouTubers a lot of views. So hopefully I can get everybody over onto my YouTube channel there. So that would be awesome. So I've had some regular viewers while I've been doing this live stream. So that's great to see. People kind of popping in and out, checking it out. So that's good. So anyhow, yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. It actually went on a little longer than I was thinking of. But that's okay. We had a good conversation back and forth a bit here, and I got to try out the software. So anyhow, yeah, so I hope you guys all have a great evening, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up